Tiki here on the Fan. Shaun Morash, Tiki Barber. Tommy Lugauer, Paulie Rosenberg here as well. Evan vacationing in Europe, if you want to call it that, because he continues to just update us with videos of naked men statues and Mets baseball takes. More on why Pete Hoffman is an enabler in a little bit as well. So, before we continue to take your calls on the Subway Series and the problems with the Yankees, 888-808-1019, couple 4th of July thoughts. And we need to get our act together as a society on a couple things that will result in a baseball take, I promise you.
I hope that all of you had a fantastic and safe one, by the way.
Of course. Next year is America's 250th birthday, okay? On a Saturday. So, as you can imagine, the stars aligning. It's going to be a big one. A big one. All right. First things first. Fireworks. I am pro-firework. I am. However, fireworks must have some rules here, Tiki. And
I don't think I saw one firework this weekend.
How is that possible?
I just didn't. I was home before it was dark.
Well, thank you for that.
We were just hanging out, and then there weren't that many.
See, our neighborhood, where we were on Long Island, a ton. Which shocks me. I would think a Friday, your neighbor, anything in Jersey, looking up, nothing?
I saw not one.
Nothing?
Bursting whatever in the sky.
That's insane.
Part of it because I wasn't looking.
Okay.
It wasn't. Well, I barely heard them, and I don't think I had a desire to look.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you barely heard them. I heard fireworks where I was on Long Island until about 1:30 in the morning Friday.
Get out of here.
I'm not kidding. And not just from one area, everywhere. I don't know when we abandon rules as a society on the 4th of July. They're unwritten rules, but we've lost sight of them. I understand the 4th of July happening on a weekend. Enough. Enough. To me, fireworks, if you're going to do them, you have a 90-minute window. 9 p.m. the sun sets. 9 p.m. everybody knows. That's the time you start looking in the sky for fireworks. I'll even stretch it to 2 hours on a weekend till 11, but really 9 to 10:30. You start blasting off 11, midnight 1. With all due respect, people do have dogs, kids. At some point, you got to cut off the nonsense. It didn't stop Friday.
There has to be a regulation regarding
There is,
right?
but
a noise ordinance or something?
There is, but by the time you call the cops, there's really nothing you could do, right? You pick up the fireworks, you run in your garage, hide, nobody comes, and that's the end of it, right? So, here's the other issue. People. You know that at 9 p.m. fireworks start getting lit off. That's the time it gets dark. You just heard Tiki. Tiki got home before it got dark. The people that drive through neighborhoods at 9, 9:15, 9:30 on the 4th of July as people are lighting off fireworks, illegal, legal, I don't care. And you throw your arms up in the air like, what are you doing? I can't get past. Your fault. Either leave your party knowing you have enough time to get home before that 9 o'clock firework window starts.
Because people will stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Or leave after, because then what happens is people start shooting off fireworks in the middle of the road, right? So it's one thing to say move. It's not a hockey net.
Fireworks off in the middle of the road.
But that's what you do in the streets. Long Island, that's big.
Really?
But it's not Tiki. You're not playing street hockey where you move the net for a car to come. These things are smoldering hot in the street. So there's nothing you could do. And then these people that drive through neighborhoods, I see it every year, get all angry. Leave parties to get home before 9 o'clock or wait till 10:30 to leave. Stop driving through neighborhoods. Next year is a Saturday. What do you think the fireworks scene is going to be like in New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island next year? What do you think?
For
the 250, I think it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton. They should be huge.
Yeah.
But I feel like our town does everything at one center.
Okay, a lot of people do that.
And that's probably why I didn't see anything.
Sure.
Because it's not random people setting off fireworks in their backyard.
Okay.
Or in front of their house in the street.
I assume that was everywhere. Maybe that's not very popular in some parts of Jersey.
Your house catching on fire or something?
No.
I'm serious. Someone's setting off fireworks in front of my house. I'm going out there and be like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
See that? Well, I grew up in neighborhoods where everybody just brings their chairs out and may or may not watch me light them off in front of that. But that's not something you're really worried about. But that shocks me that you don't see that. Yeah, every town has one of those things. But I can't stand the people that drive. So that's number one. Number two, cutoff time. Number three, last night we got to Sunday night. You did them Friday. You did them Thursday. You did them Saturday. Who's still having these 4th of July parties on Sunday, July 6th, shooting them off late last night as everybody's getting ready to go back to work today? Tommy?
It's a pig move. So where I live, Kew Gardens, Forest Hills area, I wasn't home on the 4th of July, but I got back Saturday. They were shooting off fireworks Saturday till midnight. They were shooting off fireworks yesterday till midnight. If there's a holiday that I'm unaware of, then I apologize for this rant. You have one night. We've done this now in society where we stretch out holidays, and we're doing it with the 4th of July now. You have one night to shoot fireworks off. If you're doing it 2 nights later at midnight, you're a gluttonous pig, and you don't care about your neighbors. It's enough. And if you have dogs like both of you guys do, it gives the doggy anxiety, the fireworks. So the dogs are going off now, too.
Your dogs go nuts in the fireworks?
CJ doesn't. My Saluki does not. But my Dachshund does.
Really?
Goes insane. Because I don't know if she's scared. She's probably scared.
It's a loud noise.
It's because when we vacuum, she starts barking at the vacuum.
Yeah.
So I think it's the noise, and so it's just loud for her. So she goes crazy.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't hear a lot of them in my house this time.
Bless you. There was a time.
We were lucky.
And again, I'm fine with it. But I think you got a 90-minute window on one day a year to do it. That's it.
Well, that's what makes New Year's Eve so special. Could you imagine if the ball dropped and then 5 hours later or the next day we dropped it again? You have one night.
Exactly.
That's what makes fireworks special, is you shoot them off one night. When you're 3 days later and you're shooting off fireworks because you overindulged and bought too many and you figured you'd space it out, you just save them for next year.
Okay. My next 4th of July point. I'm curious, and I want to get anybody who was at the games this weekend to call on this at 888-808-1019. Okay. Mind you, the 3 of us here are Giants fans. Me, Tommy, Tiki. Unlike Paul, he's a Jet fan. We have lived through 2 years ago the Giants losing to the Eagles on Christmas, and 2 of the last 3 years the Giants losing to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I lived it now with the Yankees playing the Mets in a fun inner-city rival game now on the 4th of July. I'm tired of my teams ruining holidays. I am so sick and tired of it. Can a holiday just be a holiday? I know you're not. Baseball the 4th of July's got to happen. Yankees-Mets is an event. Whether we want to act like we're above it and act like it's a rivalry, yeah, sure, okay. We love Yankees-Mets.
But it was popular. I mean, it was full.
It was full. I didn't get to go to a game this week. I would have loved to. But what I didn't like about it was I got too much going on when the 4th of July is a weekend anyway. And yet I took 9 hours out of my weekend to make sure, granted, I'm floating in a pool while I'm watching it.
Right.
Watching Yankees-Mets. Give me Yankees-Royals. Give me Mets-Brewers. Those could be your 4th of July games. I gave it a good trial run. I know they played a couple years ago, but we were coming out of COVID. It was a different world. 4th of July, can it just be the 4th of July without the Subway Series?
Do we have any idea of the numbers? Television
numbers? Good question.
That'll be the answer.
Tommy doesn't even want to look at us right now because it involves an email. Yes,
exactly.
Well, I have to check in with Slippery Pete, and I don't know if he's doing a bid somewhere or not. Usually everything he does is on the up and up, but I have to check in with Slippery Pete to see if he's not incarcerated and he can actually give me the numbers. But he's usually, everything he does.
Did you like it, Tommy? You had to go away for the 4th of July.
I hated it when it was first announced. I will say this, being on the winning side helps. It adds to the day. But if you were to lose, if you were a Yankee fan, that's a total bummer as you're dragging, your kids kicking and screaming to the fireworks show.
Right.
For me, as a Met fan, I enjoyed it, but you're right. I'd rather play the Nationals or the Pirates or the A's or something.
You can half watch.
Yeah.
Because you don't really care.
And not only that, I've mastered it. I know a lot of people are able to have TVs outside now. It's not like we used to have to try to lift like these big TVs out, but not everybody lives that life either. 4th of July is a day you want to be outside, and now you're checking on a game inside. To me, man, Yankees-Mets, we gave it a good run this year, 4th of July weekend. It felt cool in real time. I never want to see the Subway Series on the 4th of July again.
It wouldn't surprise me if they run it back because I think it's with
that's
New York City, everything going on, the Macy's fireworks parade. I think that's an incredibly popular thing for baseball to look at and be like, wow, let's make this an event, Subway Series, important.
Think about next year. I said 250th. That's a big 4th of July, right? We're all going to live through this, hopefully. I mean, you need to be focusing on a Jeff McNeil at bat on Saturday next year? I don't.
I think it's Mets-Yankees is like the sexy matchup for that stuff. I'm serious. Even nationally.
Forget that. 888-808-1019. Those are just my 4th of July grievances. John in Garden City. John, what's up?
So, the Yankees are making me crazy. I was sitting on the beach on 4th of July, and I wanted to throw my phone in the water, trying to watch on this little screen. The sun's coming down South Jersey, Cape May area. I'm like, dude, they're killing me. But here's what crystallized for me. The Yankees are basically a 500 team since DJ LeMahieu came back. He's upsetting the apple cart with Jazz. I mean, that's kind of passive-aggressive what Jazz said. And I'm thinking, what would I do to fix the team? And I'm a season ticket holder, so I'm invested, right? I would call Cleveland and, look, I don't care how good George Lombard and Spencer Jones are. The Yankees, year after year after year, miss deals because they overvalue their prospects.
Right.
Name besides Aaron Judge the one killer prospect who've come through. Nobody. All right? And if they are, they're on other teams. Also, listen, I'm on a roll here because I'm really annoyed. Both of Jazz Chisholm is an all-star second baseman, and Gleyber Torres is an all-star second baseman, and neither play second base for us. And now the manager of the Yankees, what's he going to do? Is he going to play Jazz at third just to look bad?
John, don't take my material for next week, but I'm very curious how Aaron Boone plays Jazz Chisholm in the All-Star game since he's managing.
Look, I'm telling you, the Yankees, it's all over the internet. I won't mention outlets that Jose Ramirez would maybe waive his no-trade clause for the Yankees. And I know Hal is cheap, but there's only a couple of years left. I call Cleveland and I say, you have Class A. Because, look, the Dodgers last year, they didn't have great starting pitching to win the World Series. It wasn't that deep.
No, they had
a lot of arms.
Games.
Flaherty was a big addition for them. And what's happened to Cleveland now? What have we lost? 10 in a row now? They went from over 500 to 8 games under?
Go call them and say, tell me right down for you, what do you want for Class A and Ramirez? Pretty much, I'll give you whatever you want, absent the guys that are on the field. Even give them the 2 top prospects. You might win a World Series if you have those 2 guys. I would do that.
John, listen, if the Yankees swung a trade like that and got Jose Ramirez and Clase, it'd be great. I just want to warn you right now, because we've seen enough of these Yankee-Cleveland playoff series in the past. Jose Ramirez has had some major playoff disappointing series like Aaron Judge.
Yeah, but he's definitely an upgrade.
Oh, my God. I'd be excited for it
right now.
I just want to put that in everybody's head, that if he struggles in the postseason, know that we were the ones laughing at Cleveland when he struggled versus us.
Feel like you've done something.
Oh, hell
to address the issue offensively and defensively that's plaguing the Yankees right now with their infield.
You get a bat like that at third base?
Exactly. Jazz out of position and not having a even really above average serviceable third baseman.
Right.
You don't have it right now.
The beauty of that, if you're going to make a trade where you would give up your 2 top prospects and Cleveland would consider it, what we talked about with Devin Williams. If you got a Class A in a deal like that, why wouldn't you then turn around and trade Devin Williams and get something back from him for him in that spot?
See, the challenge, though, because there's all this talk, it just feels like there's a lot of wheeling and dealing.
Of course.
It's just a lot of moving parts.
And they shouldn't be in this spot where they need that many moving parts.
Of course they shouldn't be, but they are in this spot where they need these moving parts, and the likelihood of it happening is very, very small.
888-808-1019. Peggy on Long Island. Peggy, what's up?
Hey, Shaun, how are you?
What's up?
Do you know that I've never called in, and I always said if I do, I'm not going to ask how are you because you guys get annoyed by that, and I did it right away. Sorry about that.
That's because you're a polite human being. We appreciate you.
So I was at the game. Honestly, it was a great experience. It was good for me because we won. It was electric. It was like a playoff atmosphere, but caused all sorts of trouble. I love to have a party on the 4th of July. I couldn't do it. I agree. If they never play again on the 4th of July, it'd be great.
So what did you do for the 4th?
Yeah.
Just kind of watch it?
I was at the game.
No, I mean for the...
And then after the game was over, what do you do?
I know.
Yeah, what do? You try to find a party that, your own, everybody's already hammered. Everybody's already having a great time. It wasn't ideal.
That's so
it wasn't
true.
ideal.
Peggy, there's nothing worse than going to a party when you are 5 drinks behind.
Oh, it's the worst.
Absolutely nothing worse. Nothing worse.
Thanks, Peggy.
Appreciate it, Peggy.
It is so true. When you walk into that party and everybody, you're like, oh man,
I always want to leave. Whenever I get into those, I'm like, damn, I'm an Irish exit here. I'm gonna say hi to everybody, and I'm gonna be going.
Yeah, I didn't drink the 4th of July party I was at because I was let my wife drink. I was the driver, but you're watching everybody else get down with it. That's the other thing too about the 4th of July. Are Jell-O shots still a thing where you guys are?
No.
My sister broke out Jell-O shots on Friday. I just thought to myself,
really?
Who's still doing these?
It's a generational thing, I think.
Right?
It's a generation. It's a throwback. They never do it.
Lugauer was over there like, maybe.
I don't know, bro. That sounds like maybe at a sorority house somewhere in the Midwest where they're not with the times yet.
It's 2025.
Yeah, I never liked Jell-O shots.
A regular shot.
Right. Goes down. I got to have it wiggle down my throat.
Was it red, white, and blue?
Yes.
Okay.
And she did them in almost like plastic syringes.
What?
So, yeah, I couldn't do one, but it was like a tray of plastic syringe Jell-O shots where you inject your mouth with it. Mind you, we're all old with kids now.
Right.
But and look, I'm not stopping the time, but I sat there and I looked at him, and maybe it was because I wasn't drinking. I had this clean thought that Who's doing these anymore?
Right. It's amazing how clear you see things when you're not drunk.
And now I realized, outside of going to my parents' party on the 4th of July, I don't think I go anywhere and they're serving Jell-O shots anymore.
No. Well, especially when you're sober, you're kind of like, this is not a good idea.
It's so stupid.
So stupid.
Yeah. Just give me a tequila down my throat. If I'm going to throw up, the last thing I want is red and white blue chunks coming out after. Kidding me?
That's gross.
Chris in Bayshore. Chris, what's up?
Hey, guys. Shaun, listen, I'm with you 100%. We got to tone that down, the July 4th stuff. It's here, we're in the same area, whatever. It was all night.
Chris, did you hear it in my nuts? You live in Bayshore, I live in Bayshore. Till 1:30, I couldn't take it.
Yeah, it was constant. It was late. I mean, I went to, I didn't stay for, it was 3 nights and it was past midnight. It was ridiculous. And the other thing is too, like, you talk about animals and stuff. There's a lot of people that are, that whether it be vets or anybody else.
That have sensory disorders. Right. Absolutely.
Right. I mean, in this day and age, the accountability is nil, and nobody's really thinking about anybody else, which is a shame, but that's the way it is. But I had a point about, I think this weekend really highlighted the difference between Mendy and Boone, and I really think if I were a Met fan, I would really be pretty pleased with my situation with the managers. I just get that feeling. And I'm not, it's not really a shot at Boone. It's just, it seems like the analytics and the binder stuff, or whatever you want to say about new school, old school, seems to be hurting the Yankees. Whereas with the Mets, they just seem to kind of not have that negative effect. They rise above it a little bit.
I can't imagine living in a world, thanks for the call, Chris, where you wake up every day and you're a baseball fan, you're looking forward to the game, and you don't have to play guess that lineup.
Yeah.
Like, to the extent we always do with the Yankees. It's unbelievable.
Well, it just feels, and maybe this is part luck, it feels like Mendy is pushing all the right buttons for all of his players. We know Juan Soto was in a slump early on in the season. He moved him back to 3, where he's constantly said he's more comfortable, and guess what? He starts hitting, has one of the best Julys that you could imagine. Francisco Lindor struggling in the leadoff spot. You know what, Francisco, we're going to move you back a spot. Right. And we're going to throw a couple of guys up there, lefty-righty combo, depending on who the pitching matchup is, and just give you a little bit of help and protection behind you as well. Guess what? He starts raking. Right? Then you got these 2 guys in the leadoff, Nemo and Starling Marte, who thrive in that spot. Right. Like, so it's everything he's done has worked.
Sure.
Now, is that analytics or is that gut? I think probably a little bit of both.
Right.
But it feels to me, and I think this is what we're giving Mendy credit for, it feels like it feels right to him.
Yes.
And that's why he does it.
Nobody is saying eliminate analytics from the game or your approach to running a team. Yeah. But there needs to be that authenticness of gut, and there's no doubt about it, Mendoza does it. In fact, I think Mendoza yesterday, the one mistake I killed him for, which was pitching the Judge, which I'm sure Evan would kill him for too, something tells me that was in his gut. And he said after the game, the guys after him were scaring him, and Bellinger's been on a tear lately. Right. I think it was a mistake, but I much rather live with mistakes from my manager if I get the vibe, you know what, they went with their instinct on the field.
And by the way, with Aaron Judge, if you miss by half an inch, he's hitting at 390. Right. So he just missed. It was up where it was supposed to be. He just missed.
It's not worth it to me, though, to miss Aaron Judge, especially with the way the Yankee lineup is. To me, not worth it at all. Ted in Hewlett, I can't believe I'm reading the subject line, but give it a go, Ted. What's up?
Oh, boy, the subject line. So I'm going to throw a little twist in. When first of all, I love listening to WFAN, and it's all I listen to in my car, and I love your show. When I used to listen to Tommy Lugauer, I used to think he was a little crazy, but he's taught me something. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But I'm here to give him a compliment. All right. Actually, not Tommy Lugauer. I'm here to give Positive Tommy a compliment.
Nice.
So Positive Tommy taught me something. I swear, and listen, I'm 66 years old. I didn't think anybody is going to teach me anything on the radio. Here's what he taught me. This goes back to the Knicks, because I went to the first game of the Knicks series against the Pacers. We're going crazy. I'm having the time of my life. The last 2 minutes was miserable, but it doesn't change the great time I had rooting for them. So now you come to Game 5. Positive Tommy says Knicks are going to win the game and win the series. I'm like, he's crazy. Who is this Positive Tommy? He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. They lost. So you say Positive Tommy was crazy. What he taught me right then and there, and I'm using it now, is if you're going to be a fan of a team, you have to be willing to deal with defeat. Otherwise, you're not going to get the full satisfaction when they win. So, like with the Yankees right now, they're struggling.
I'm still rooting for them every game. Otherwise, you're not going to get the full satisfaction of it. And then are you really a fan?
Ted, you're making me care about this point now for a second, which could be dangerous. I agree with you. I'm rooting for the Yankees to win every game, but I'm frustrated. Here's where I disagree with Tommy's notion. I think Tommy, when he pulls the positive Tommy card, is burying his head in the sand on problems, and it's not making him appreciate the defeats and the highs and the lows because everything's a high.
Right, because if you appreciate the down times, it makes the better times that much better. Right?
Wrong?
But Tommy's ignoring the down times.
No, exactly. Let me explain.
All right.
Let me explain. If you say, oh, the Yankees stink this year, I give up on them, you're not getting the enjoyment of if they end up starting to win again and do really well. You can't, if you only root for your team when you're doing well, you're not getting the full satisfaction of being a fan. And that's the point. Whether Tommy explained it that way, that's the point of being positive. If you're not going to be positive for your team, then all you're doing is you're avoiding disappointment. And if you avoid disappointment, you're not getting the full satisfaction of being a fan. That's all I wanted to say. I love you, positive Tommy, just because you taught me that.
All right, Ted, thank you. Thank you for letting Tommy's mom pay you to call.
He's making a point.
A point indeed.
Yes.
A point was made.
Not everybody's going to agree.
I won't lead us.
A wise teacher in college once told me when you get into radio or TV or anything, the object to walk away from any show is at least teaching one person in the audience something new every day. So, Tommy, you've taught that guy how to be a fan. So, congratulations to you.
Tommy. Well, you did a great job for Ted.
It's my pleasure. And I think Ted eloquently laid out what I say is that you want to enjoy the ride. And I think a lot of times sports fans are waiting for the other shoe to drop. They can't wait to be miserable. It's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, especially with Met fans.
Well, they can emotionally explode then.
Jet fans, Islander fans. See, we're not allowed nice things. See, this happens all the time. And last year was a great example of that. You get lost in that and you don't enjoy, which was one of the great seasons in Met history as far as fun, everything that was going on. They go to the NLCS. Obviously, they didn't win the World Series, but that was a fun season. And I think a lot of fans didn't have that kind of fun. Like you have kids, you bring them to Disneyland or Disney World. The kids don't really enjoy it that much because they're crying, they're this, they're that. And you look back on it years later and you go, man, myself, you talk to yourself, you say, I should have enjoyed the process and the event more. And I think sports fans don't enjoy the journey sometimes because they just want to win. They want to blow everything up. They want to trade this guy. And they don't allow themselves to enjoy it.
Well, I haven't enjoyed the journey that's been the last week of being a Yankee fan. I can tell you that much.
No, it kind of sucked.
And I'm not going to look back and go, wish I did.
Right.
No.
Right. It's about winning. That's the bottom line. 100%. It's about winning. And unfortunately, fans care more about teams winning than the teams actually do. So it always affects fans more.
Well, because baseball is different because it's such a long season that a manager can dismiss a bad week
and players have to
2 weeks. Players, you have to.
You have to
turn the page again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Football is not that way. You lose and you're pissed.
Paulie, that was Tiki's polite way of telling you to shut the bleep up. Manny Rodriguez, who does updates here, said, I worked Friday morning, heard fireworks going off in Westchester when I was getting ready at 4 a.m.
Get out of here.
Told you. And that leads us to our next call, Dan in Smithtown. Dan, what's up?
What up, Dan?
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
That's good.
All right. I hate to say it, but I think we need the Ginger back on the show. He has a little bit more positivity, even more than positive Tommy. I mean, you guys are talking about fireworks being annoying. Someone got mad at Jell-O shots.
No, I didn't
get mad. And they're mad at the match of the Yanks playing?
No, we're not mad at Jell-O shots. Yes. We're just surprised it's still a thing.
Yes. Nobody's angry at the Jell-O shots.
Are you still making Jell-O shots?
If someone busts them out, I mean, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to put the effort in. But delicious.
Well, that's the point. You're not making them. I'm not making them. My point is somebody took the time to make them at the party I was at, and I thought to myself, just do a shot.
Right. Who the hell is still making Jell-O shots?
Very old school. Are you still putting movies in a VHS?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. That's what a Jell-O shot is,
you watch a movie on Netflix and it sucks and you just keep watching it because you turned it on? No, you turn it off.
That's right.
Something else.
That's right.
You have the ability.
But getting mad at fireworks, it's once a year. I mean, Dan, we celebrate Christmas like a week after.
What?
I mean, it's once a year. Come on.
Dan, thanks for the call. I love fireworks. I love them. My point is, I don't love them.
You don't need them for 6 hours.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
First on the Jell-O shots. If somebody busts out gasoline at a party, you're going to take a shot of it. That's just what partiers do. When you're drinking, you'll drink anything. So it's not a matter of we don't want the Jell-O shots. It's just a little bit outdated. Like if you meet a Dottie or a Maureen and they're like 30, you're like, boy, that's a little.
Back in my day, Rumplemints.
Rumplemints was a big one.
The Goldschlager.
Yeah, Goldschlager.
For Sean and I,
is gone, man. Yeah. Like, who the hell drinks that anymore?
For me and Sean, it was Jaeger bombs.
Yep.
Jägermeister was huge, especially with the bros.
I could feel it in my throat.
Fireball.
Then Fireball came along, and I'm not even really sure what the new hip one is. The other thing,
peanut butter shots.
Peanut butter. All right, that sounds good. As far as one day a year you celebrate it, you don't. That's our whole point, is that people are celebrating 4th of July now for an entire week. And the Christmas thing is, which I always ran about, it started out that it was just a month. Then it dipped into Thanksgiving. Now you see it in September. So if you allow the firework people to shoot them off 3 or 4 days after 4th of July, they're going to stretch it out even longer, and we'll have fireworks in August.
We had a town parade. So obviously the day, it's a couple of days after the middle of the year.
Okay.
Town parade. 4th of July parade.
4th of July parade. Okay.
Right? Sitting there, and I forget what road it is, in the middle of Florham Park. There is a Christmas float.
Like for Christmas in July kind of thing?
I don't know, but there was a Christmas float. And you know what I said, Sean? All freaking ready?
Again.
Already?
Exactly. Oh, you wait. September's right around the corner. You're going to walk right into a Macy's
now,
and get your
was the purpose for that float, but I missed it because my reaction was just, are you kidding me?
I think some people do this thing called Christmas in July.
Which is what?
I think you celebrate a summer version of Christmas.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are we further bastardizing the reason of Christmas?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Right.
The big guy upstairs, that birthday candle is long gone.
Hey, how about we'll celebrate your half birthday?
Yeah, exactly. Enough with half birthdays. All right, we come back. More Subway Series reaction, plus somebody's father needs a stern talking to. And you remember, you can listen to Evan and Tiki on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.